Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Logistics Executive TV. I'm joined today by a gentleman who, for many years, has been looking to solve one of the world's existential problems and challenges and opportunities. This is all about mobility. So today we're talking about mobility as a service and a whole range of ramifications and implications of that. I'm joined by somebody I'm very, very proud to call a good friend and a long-term associate in life and in the world of logistics especially, Claus von Hessberg. Klaus, welcome, my friend.
Hey, Kim, great to see you. It's been a while. Yeah.
It has indeed, probably
I came
pre-COVID.
through the other week, but I couldn't stop. So, I was in a rush. So, yeah, sorry.
Well, I'm in
Sydney on
I'm in Sydney very shortly, so we'll do that. Klaus, you are the chairman, founder of a company called SkedGo. But before we start, where in the world are you today, by the way?
Today, right now, I am in Airlie Beach. Actually, let me see if I swing this around. So Airlie Beach, some people might know the world famous Whitsunday Islands. It's a sailing mecca, holiday mecca. There's nothing else like this in the world. So sorry, it's just from my balcony here.
Oh my God, look at that.
Looking out over one of the 5 or 10 marinas, and there's super yachts from all over the world here. The Whitsunday Islands are around the corner there. Also the famous Hamilton Island, where there's a Hamilton Race Week, and then there is the really expensive Hayman Island. Yeah, so that's where I am right now. I'm a bit of a gypsy right now. I've just come back from 6 weeks in Europe. So glad to be back in Australia.
Fantastic. So Klaus, SkedGo, multi-award winning global organization that I believe you started about 15 years ago. I think I was in Sydney at the time when you started it. We had a celebration at your office. Tell us about SkedGo. Why? What?
Okay, so the simple, let's start with the what, because it's just easier to explain the why after that. So SkedGo is like a version of Google Maps, except for we have higher fidelity, like we have more transport modes integrated than Google Maps has. And we allow personalization, and it's a major factor. So if you're a businesswoman with an expense account, or a student, or a mother with a pram, if you use Google Maps, you all get the same results, right? It's like one size fits all, and that's not how real life works, right? So a mother with a pram or an elderly with a stroller needs a completely different transport solution than an able-bodied person with a business account. Business account is like time is more valuable than money. For the student, money is more valuable than time, and so forth, right? And for the people that have special needs, they need special solutions. So we do that. We allow you to basically select your lifestyle preferences or necessities in some cases, if you're a wheelchair user, for instance. And then these the algorithms give you the solutions that work for your lifestyle.
Cool. So SkedGo is an app. It's an app.
SkedGo is the company and the structure, the platform. The app is called TripGo. It's free on iOS, on web, and on Android. So please just go tripgo.com or go to skedgo.com and you will see the apps, and it's pretty easy from there. It's free. It works in about 500 cities around the world. We're not like Google. We don't cover everywhere. We cover where we're needed. 500 cities around the world, and I think we cover 14 or 15 countries totally. So yeah, that's the coverage. And what I just mentioned before, that's the consumer end of the app. That's how people consume it, how we use it on the street, right? Now, the other thing that's different from Google Maps is Google Maps doesn't do corporate solution, and government doesn't really like Google Maps because it's a Silicon Valley company that basically says all the data is ours. So, whether you're in Helsinki or in Paris or in, Cape Town, those cities, they don't really like the idea that a Californian-based company owns the data on their city about where everything goes and how people are traveling. So we allow cities to own their data. We put servers into their legislations and jurisdictions, and make sure that they feel safe about data. And we follow the highest data cyber security protocols and so on. So we allow the governments and corporates and enterprises, so interpreters and entrepreneurs, to use our technology to build new solutions. So the mobility space is very varied. And so we decided, instead of backing one horse, we back them all by being an enabler. So we provide an API, SDKs, and white label. So you can, whether you're government, corporate, or a startup, you can use our technology to build what you think is necessary for your town.
So you're putting the hands. I read on your website the other day, over the weekend, that you're putting the consumer or the traveller or the person needing the mobility at the centre of the decision making and the journeys. Is that a fair reflection?
That is spot on. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all about the user. As I said, we're big time into personalization. Google's one size fits all. Yeah, that works for the average person, but our society is so varied. It doesn't work for everyone. So we're very much people centric.
Right. So as you know, I've got a bike there in Sydney. I've got a bike in Dubai. I ride push bikes everywhere, weather allowing. Not so good in 45 degrees at the moment, but so you'll link up people riding bikes with public transport. I was on a train the other day with a bike going from Barcelona up into Switzerland, and I was able to, on the app that I was using at the time, I was able to plan that journey. This is the sort of provision that you're delivering.
Very good point. Thanks, Kim, for taking me there. So that is another big differentiator from Google Maps. On Google Maps, you got to go, I want to go from here to there, and then Google asks you by which transport mode, and you got to decide whether you're going to drive, cycle, public transport. So we don't do that. All we want to know is what's your lifestyle, what are your necessities, and then where do you want to go? So our algorithms then combine. So we call this intermodal. So Google is multimodal, but you have to decide the mode as part of the input. We don't want you to think that far. Your lifestyle preferences, and you can also select or deselect certain transport modes. The algorithms do the hard work. The algorithms put things together. So if you let's say use Sydney as an example, because we both know that city. You live in a western suburb somewhere. You want to go into the city. So can you drive all the way? Yeah, but parking is going to kill you, right? And the drive is way too long. You're better off to drive to a rail station out west. Park your car there, take a train into the city, and then in the city call an Uber or rent a bike or something that just gets you to your final destination. So that's 3 different transport modes. Actually, if you include the parking itself, it's another transport service, it's 4. We string that together to give you a seamless itinerary. We don't only do that for a trip, we can do that for all day. We can string them all together for a whole day.
Now, off camera, we were talking a little bit about the existential issues of underprivileged communities that either have bad solutions for mobility or no solutions. And talk to me about the social issues there that you're recognising and trying to solve.
Yes. So imagine you are in an underprivileged demographic. It's easy to say pick areas in the US. I'm not picking on the US, but let's just say underprivileged suburbs in larger cities in the US. Very few public transport options. Frequency is, sad, and so on. So what we're trying to do is we're using community platforms such as Phoenix in the US, and they mobilize drivers in the community to plug into this service, and we digitize that, and we combine that with other options that are available. So we provide a service where there is a service vacuum. And that is one type of service. The other one is we make sure that we leave no man or woman behind that has special needs, whether that's autistic or whether that is hearing or vision difficulties or wheelchair. we make sure that for them it's not lifestyle choices, it's life necessities. That
Right.
we are an inclusive company, so we provide that. And a lot of cities, obviously, they have a duty of care. They used to be able to say, well, sorry, there's no solution for that, so tough luck. Now we're providing the solution. They can't unsee that, and their duty of care kicks in, and then we become the solution of choice.
Okay. So you've grown enormously over the last several years, last decade in particular. I understand that you've got people, well, you're up in Early Beach in Queensland in Australia in the warm weather because you like the warm weather. I know you've got a lot of people down at one of your hubs in Sydney, but you've got people all over the world. So quite a distributed workforce, very much the mobility applies to your business model internally as well.
Yeah. So our team traveling from Australia. So in Australia, the team is in Sydney. Yeah, I'm up here at the moment. We got one team member in Mongolia. He was up recently in Bali. We have people in the Philippines, in Vietnam, in Germany, in Italy, in the UK, and then
Everywhere.
we have a big technology hub in Argentina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. So in terms of the back end, then a bit more about that, the business model. So you're partnering with cities and communities, financial institutions. I mean, how does the business model work as a matter of interest?
Yeah, good question. So we provide the entry point is like how does the consumer, the man or woman on the street, use the solution. So that could be a white label of our app. A white label is just a terminology for a copy. So that TripGo app I mentioned earlier, we make a copy of that. We rebrand it to the client's likings. And then we may also modify things in there. Certain modes are included, excluded. It's customized. So that's the white label version. The other one is an SDK, whereby the client has its own tech team and they use the SDK as an entry point to build their own front ends, their own apps. And then finally, they're really teched up companies. They use an API. So the business model is we charge for the licensing, we charge for the customization of or any or all of those. The API is generally not customized. It is just a feed. And the client decides which part of the feed they want to plug in or what, and that's being charged by, in blocks of 1,000 API calls. That's all on our website. There is a pricing website. It's so the business model is basically you come to us, we'll provide you a solution that is fit for you. If you need turnkey because you got no in-house tech, then we take care of everything. If you have in-house tech, you and your team or your contractor takes care of it, and then we just charge you licensing fee.
Got it. So that's the partners, that's the providers. The customer, it's free to use, or there's a subscription fee?
For our TripGo in the wild, the native TripGo, it's totally free, will always be free. For the solutions for the client side, mostly yes. Mostly if it's, for instance, government, it's a mandate. They're providing services to their citizens. If it's an enterprise solution or let's say a startup solution, it's up to the client. They can absolutely monetize it. We're happy for them to monetize it. Just we want innovation to happen on top of our platform. We want to be a catalyst and an enabler for innovation. And monetization is part of that, absolutely.
Well, it's got to be working, my friend, because you've been going nearly 15 years now and providing solutions all over the world. So congratulations. Really looking forward to catching up with you in person soon again. Maybe before we go, you could give us a bit of a heads up on where the best place for individuals or organizations can get hold of you. First of all, from a user perspective, consumer, you mentioned before TripGo.
Yeah, for a consumer, please go to the app stores and select TripGo. It's like the word trip and go in one, no space. You find them on all the app stores. You can also just go to the web and go tripgo.com.
Yeah.
For governments and so on, go to the SkedGo website. And if you want to talk to me, if you have questions, go to my LinkedIn profile. I'm the only one with that name, Claus von Hessberg. It shouldn't be too hard to find.
Just up there.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And if you're interested in this industry and this, follow me on Twitter. My EA looks after both of these platforms for me, and we are very active on those platforms. So there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out, a lot of mobility. And mobility goes into everything, as you know. Mobility, and we've seen this lately with transport costs going up because there is energy. A lot of energy money actually goes into logistics, as you know, and mobility. So we're right in there. We're on the cutting edge of all this.
Awesome. Klaus, so good to catch up with you again. SkedGo, TripGo, finding solutions to problems of people and challenges all over the world. Awesome company. I'm going to be traveling in many cities in the next few months, as you know, so I'm going to be on the app, and I'm looking forward to linking up, whether I'm on the bike or the train or wherever else I'm traveling. Claus von Hessberg, Airlie Beach, Queensland, Australia. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll look forward to catching up with you again.
Thanks, Jim.